Malaika, thank you so much for being a part of this discussion on Coffee Confidential with Griha. Thank you so much. I should tell you that you are my first guest. So cheers to new
Oh,
beginnings
yes, in the new year. So cheers to that.
in
It's
my
gonna
new show.
something so
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. So, I was just going through your Instagram bio. It says a wanderer in the world of fitness, fashion, and food. That's a great way to put it.
Well, I'm still learning my ways. I'm still wandering through, and I'm still trying to find and pin down a whole lot of things. But yeah, essentially a wanderer. Yes.
So, you are always known to have your way, whether it is fitness, whether it's fashion, whether it is food. That's why Getaway.
That's why getaway, and we can get away with eating some of our getaway. That's the whole point, and I'm really happy that I'm on board because I think anybody who knows me knows my love for dessert, and what better way than a healthy way of consuming dessert? So I'm really happy to be part of it, to be part of the getaway family, and can't wait for you to try and indulge some of our getaway dessert as well, our
You,
cheesecakes.
you know what, Malaika? Only you could have thought about it. You could have thought about it, having dessert and that too in a healthy way. How did it actually happen? Are you a binge watcher of Shark Tank? How did you actually get on board? Because if you have to look at and listen to the guys, they said we were all doing chaya chaya with the Malaika Arora Association.
Well, like I said, anybody who knows me knows my love for dessert. So I just thought this was the best way. And I know everybody loves eating, or rather relishing, or rather indulging in a little bit of that meat. So I'm no
Oh
different. So
yeah.
I just thought it was a great way to be a strategic investor and get on board with them. So it just made a whole lot of sense for my ethos, because that's what I believe in, and that's how I eat, and that's how I live, and that's how I want to put it across there to millions of people, that you can actually eat a dessert, a cheesecake, and not feel guilty about it, and feel totally and totally good, and actually get away with unnecessary calories on your hips.
Okay, so since we are sitting and sipping our cups of coffee, I want you to spill some beans for me, with your cup. Every time it's a yes, you are supposed to take a sip and tell me the story behind it or whatever little story that you have behind it. So, since
Ooh,
you were
okay.
talking
So now
about
I
your
am
love
in the
for
hot seat.
desserts,
Okay.
yes, you are. Since you were talking about your love for desserts, take a sip. If you have more than one cheat day in a week,
I don't believe in cheat days.
uh,
I actually don't believe in cheat days, because I feel if you eat right, if you eat well, if you eat in moderation, then you don't need a cheat day. And I think if you kind of adopt a healthy lifestyle, then you don't need a cheat day. So yeah, you can actually
so
indulge
well put.
peacefully.
Absolutely.
So
Okay,
no
take
cheat,
a
no
sip if
cheat
you
days for me.
are. Okay, no cheat days. So cheers to no cheat days. We eat what we like and we exercise and burn it off. That's what the
Absolutely.
idea
All in
should be.
all
Okay,
in
okay.
all in moderation.
Take a sip.
I take a sip.
All in
Okay.
moderation.
Am I
Next
am
one.
I
Take
going
a
to
sip.
be am I going to be
No, take a
intoxicated
sip
on
if you
coffee?
are caffeinated for sure. Okay, take a sip if you are not a morning person. Not a morning person.
No, I am a morning person.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. What time do you get up?
6:30, 7, around that time. Yeah. 6:30ish.
Oh my god,
6:37.
I'm getting pangs right now. The not morning person in me is thinking, okay, fine, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah. I'm a complete morning
But
person
that's
because I
great.
think
That's great. Okay.
I'm most proactive in the morning. So yeah, complete morning person.
Okay, great, great. Okay. So out of your girl gang, especially Karina, Amrita, and you, take a sip if you are a gossip hoarder and you love to gossip the most. Like you really have your fill with gossips.
Do I have the gossip, or do I like my fill of the gossip? What is it? Because
Both. Both.
I have.
If you like to indulge in gossip,
Which girl doesn't like indulging in a little bit of gossip? Yeah, but I don't generally have the gossip. I'm not somebody who has info. I'm always hungry for info. I'm always like, give me some info. That's me.
so
Can you
which
hear
one's the
me?
latest one that you binged on? The latest, yes, yes, I can. So which one's the latest one that you binged on? The latest gossip. that Malaika Arora was given?
I'll have to kill you if I tell you.
Okay, okay. I want to actually have my fill of the rest of my life that God has probably left. So I'll let it be. I'll let it be. Okay, the next one. Take a sip. If you have been hit upon by a gent in such a cool way that you were just if you were just floored by the way he hit on you, not essentially on the gentleman who tried to hit on you, but just the way he did
Hell yeah, of
it.
course. I think there have been
What
some
was
really
it? What did he
cool
do?
ways of um, of the opposite sex actually,
Hmm.
being really forthright and really cool about it, with actually me be having zero interest in them, but just like the way that they went about it. So yeah, for sure. Who doesn't
The
like it? Which
confidence.
girl
It's all
doesn't like a
about.
little? Yeah, which girl doesn't like a little bit of flattery, a little bit of incentive?
Okay. Anything that you remember?
I'm trying to think. Actually, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not somebody. I'm not one for unnecessary talk and chatter. I don't
Hmm.
like that.
Oh.
I kind of I like it when somebody just kind of says something out of the blue in terms of a little takes me by surprise, which is completely unexpected. I like that. I like a little element of surprise. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
let me change that. Since you are a favorite of the paparazzi, I'm sure when the photographers actually are running to get you on their lenses, they say a lot of things which are funny because a lot of the guys know you and you know them, and it's a vice versa. So I'm sure there's a healthy camaraderie that's going on. Anything that they say is really funny and flattering as well.
I think well, now I think it's pretty it's I mean, sometimes I don't even pay too much attention, but now that it's so in your face, half the time I think I'm always dreaming. I'm like trying to just get to where I'm going, and I'm not really
Let me
paying
find my
attention
way.
to what's
Yeah,
happening. I'm just like, I just need to get to where I'm going. But it's always like I can't get over the fact, like the way they scream your name out. It's just like
yeah.
in various decibels of Malaika, ma'am, Malaika, ma'am. Can you? It just goes on like that, and I find that really hysterical, actually, more than anything.
Okay, that's cool. Since you mentioned that you are a strategic investor when it comes to Getaway, what does it mean? How many strategies are you planning to devise for the brand?
Well, we're in the process of devising a whole lot of strategies, uh, and I think, like I said, sometimes I just like to follow my gut. I just like to go with my gut and I feel strongly about some things. I think I'm somebody who truly believes in a connection, believes in a kind of, and a connection can be, it's sometimes it just comes out of the blue. I still remember the first time I met my when I collaborated with Sarvesh from Sarva Yoga. I didn't know him at all, but sometimes it's just something that you say and something that you kind of put across that kind of just hit home with me, and that just sealed it for me. And I said, you know what, I believe in what you're saying, and I believe in your brand, and that's why I want to be on board. And I think that's pretty much how it was with Josh as well. I just like, and the fact that it's homegrown. There's a certain amount of heart and family that goes into it, and I'm an all family, all heart kind of a person. That's the kind of upbringing that I have. Whether it's his mom, whether it's his sister, his wife. I mean, I just like the way he went about it, and that really kind of it really it just felt good. And I just said, I mean, this man comes from a place of family, and for me, that's of great consequence in my life, and that's what I really liked. Now, coming back to you saying strategic investment, I think those are things that we're working on, one step at a time. They've already floated a couple of um, you know brands that they're going with, whether it was the ice creams, now whether we're doing the cheesecakes and stuff like that. So they've already started with a couple of them. And I am a cheesecake kind of a person. I love cheesecake. So that again just kind of felt really amazing. And all I know is I want to help them grow this brand. I know we are at a position, and I want to see that in the next couple of years that we, or the next year or two, that we go to a 3x, 5x, and that's pretty much where I see it.
Okay, so talking to the entrepreneur Malaika, your expectations from the union budget, since it's going to be presented, anything that you expect from the union finance minister, Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman, tomorrow, as the budget is all set to be presented?
I think I will just keep my ears peeled. I think I'll just be glued to what's in store for the budget. Of course, as taxpayers, you always want to see a budget that is friendly in terms of uh, of what we expect as taxpayers, or just being citizens. I think we always expect a friendly budget where things are not so inflated, where we don't feel that we are not getting our money's worth. So I think at the end of the day, we always are looking for those sort of little adjustments in our budgets, and I am looking forward to it. I really don't know what's in store. I just hope for startups, like for somebody like me who's invested in startups, who is so heavily into
Yeah.
wanting to understand the ethos of startups. I think I really hope that the budgets are, that the session actually is startup friendly, and we do have a lot of things to look forward to, and that's all that I'm looking forward to, because I really do want my MAV to have um, some sort of a platform where we can actually scale. And I hope
Yeah.
the coming up budget gives us that.
Okay, so now let me talk to the social media star in Malaika. The fact that you're a rage on social media, the stuff that you post, whether it is about the yoga videos and everything, with with a lot of love also comes, a fair bit of trolling. Whether it's fair or unfair is up to debate. But people like to do that. How do you take that, considering you have a massive following? It's over 17 million followers that actually look forward to your videos, your posts, and they actually get encouraged by what you're posting, the stuff that you're posting, and that's what influencing is all about. So healthy influencing, and yet coming in with that kind of trolling, how do you take it?
Firstly, I think social media is a great platform, not just for putting content out there. It's a great way. I mean, of course, to put content that you believe in. It's a great platform. At the same time, it also has a great way of monetizing content that you put out there, right?
Mm,
And to be
mm,
associated with brands that gel with your thinking, of course, in a very
mm,
organic sort of way. And I think it's really become amazing with the way there's been a shift, in terms of brands that are completely want to associate only through social media. So that in itself has become an amazing platform. Um, where my social platform is concerned, I think it's not thought of, as in terms of, it's not planned every day of my life. I think it's a pretty organic way. If you see the way I put things out there, it's things that I love doing, that I love being a part of, whether it's my fitness regime, whether it's the kind of food that I'm associated, whether it's the kind of fashion that I thrive to kind of be part of, or to put out there. So it's all pretty much an extension of the personality that I am. Trolling is part of it. I feel if people didn't love you, they wouldn't be trolling. It's only because
mm,
they look up to you, or they love you, or they like you, or they respect you. There'll always be a section that will troll you. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I don't
mm,
pay too much attention to it. And I also feel it comes from a place of love. Sometimes it is vindictive, sometimes it is toxic, but it is also a place of love, because they do look up to you for whatever it's worth,
mm,
whether it is to inspire you, or whether it is to just at the end of the day feel a little bit of encouragement. Sometimes you just have people reach out to you because it just feels like, what, we just felt great just hearing what you had to say. Sometimes just an affirmation that you put out there, kind of motivates people to another level. So it doesn't actually have to be
mm,
something, eye catching, or something that is trending. Sometimes just an affirmation can actually
mm.
make a lot of difference. So I think with love comes trolling, with love comes hate. I think it goes hand in hand. It's how much of it that you actually want to take in your life. I'm all about love. I'm all
Yeah.
about positivity. I try and keep all the negative out of my life, so I don't give trolling and negativity too much of importance in my life.
So, the fact that you're already there on social media, how much of a pushing really was needed when you decided to, in a sense, also put a section of your life out there with moving in with Malaika? Did it actually need any pushing? Did you think it through? Did your friends and people who you look up to for that kind of advice really say that, okay, fine, you need to go for it, that's okay? What was it like?
Did, of course it did. It wasn't easy initially. It wasn't. It went through a lot of a process with me mentally to understand what I'm getting into. A lot of discussions, a lot of debates, a lot of arguments, a lot of back and forth. So yes, it did take all of that. Um, and of course, initially I was very, very apprehensive about having to put a part of me out there, which I was never ever comfortable with. The good thing was eventually when I actually sat down and we worked on it, in a collaborative way, what came out was I'm going to be able to put something out there which is personal, but at the same time, there's also a message attached to it. There's also a reason behind it. There's also a little something that I want to say, whether it's good, bad, or whatever it may be, but there's something that I want to say. So I think that's eventually that kind of calmed my nerves down, because it didn't only seem intrusive. It just only didn't seem that I was going to put my every aspect of my life out there. It also felt like um, that I was able to connect and talk about things that were important to me, that I felt that I need to speak about. So it was a healthy mix of both,
Okay,
which I did.
great. Okay, the fact that we are talking, the fact that we are talking in a very, very happy time also, especially for the Hindi film industry, considering there's such a kind of mammoth response that Pathan has got, and this is happening after the pandemic. Everybody in the industry really needed a hit like this, but it's coming, in the backdrop of so much that has been said about the industry and so many controversies. What do you, and because we're coming out with a very, very important silver lining and a very positive message. How do you see this victory of Team Pathan and then the team industry? How do you see this
Well,
kind of
like you said,
response that Pathan has
firstly, I
got?
think great times, fabulous. I think much needed for the industry, great respite of sorts, because I think at some level people had kind of really were feeling really down in the dumps. I think people were really feeling
Yeah.
uh, kind of bogged down by the fact that people aren't going to the theaters, people aren't watching movies, aren't watching films. The pandemic changed the whole equation of people going to a theater or a cinema to watch films. People are very happy sitting at home and watching movies on their television. So somewhere it kind of really, there was a lull of sorts. Nobody I Everybody, kind of, um, there was such a negative connotation that was surrounding everything. And I think now with this sudden,
Mm,
with the film doing well, with Pathan doing well, with suddenly people feeling that, that you can actually go back to the theaters and actually watch films with your family, and there's still so much
mm,
of content out there which you can actually enjoy. um, I think it suddenly kind of lifted everybody's spirits. Controversies will always be there. Something, like I said, with love comes hate. With every up, there will be some downs. So that is part and parcel of life. And I think the
mm,
film industry is no different. I think it's constantly dealt with that kind of a graph where great highs and terrible lows. They've always dealt with it. But I think the silver lining is that they've always come out of it. They've always come out maybe stronger, maybe more unified, uh, as an
mm.
industry. And I think that is what everybody was looking for that silver lining. And I'm just so happy everybody involved with the film, including the entire industry. I think there's a sudden spring in everybody's step. So that's a really
Yes.
good thing. And I just hope this trend really
But Malaika,
continues.
did you actually feel with it with a sense of shock, because you have been involved with the industry, you have been part of films, you have done a very, very famous item number, a song which was part of Dil Se with Shah Rukh. This sort of a thing was never there from what really Deepika and Shah Rukh's song in Pathan really had to go through. Did you think that this kind of an intolerant or probably trolled way of looking at things has become the new normal, which should be actually called out by the industry?
I think it's really sad. I think that's really sad. And I wish this kind of negativity or trolling wasn't there. I feel really bad about it. I wish there was a way around it. I wish there was a way that people were a little more tolerant about cinema, about the art of cinema. I wish there was a little more tolerance. Um, how, why, when that will happen, I really wish I knew. I really wish I had an answer for it. But sometimes you do wonder, why certain sections are targeted, why certain sections are uh, constantly labeled. You always wonder why that happens, but you also, in the same light, you also, the same vein, you also hope that it is just a phase, and that people will see beyond it. People will be a little more tolerant, and I always do believe in that. So I'm really happy. At the end of the day, whatever may have happened, I think there is a sense of vindication that at the end of the day, the film has gone and done so well. So I think it is vindication for everybody. It is a sense of feeling a certain sense of triumph. So I just feel happy for all of them involved with the film. And at the end of the day, I always say, for me, I mean, I feel whatever Shah Rukh Khan does is always larger uh, and he truly brings a smile to all our faces. So whether his films do well or don't do well, whatever the graph may be, for me, I think he always brings a smile to our faces. So I think that in itself is enough.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, okay, last three questions where I really want you to again take a sip of your coffee. Take a sip. If we would very soon be seeing you returning to the Southern film industry after almost a decade. We hear that you're going to be working again with Mahesh Babu. Take a sip if that's true.
No, I'm not going to take a sip.
You want to keep us guessing. Okay.
No, I'm going to take a sip.
Okay. Okay, take a
Next
sip if you
question.
binged watch. If you have binged watch Moving In with Malaika or any other show on OTT platforms.
Of course, I binge watch my show. Actually, I didn't really get a
You
chance to
have.
see it. I didn't get a chance to see it as much while in the making.
Okay.
I mean, I would of course be fully involved with it in terms of editing and all of that. But I didn't actually sit down and binge watch it, which I actually did it recently. I actually sat and binge watched 16 episodes, and man, that felt good. So I'm going to take another sip. And I binge watched White Lotus.
Okay,
I
last
binge
one. I know
White Lotus
Arjun has,
season 1.
yeah. Oh, great. Oh, that one is a good one. So, okay, Arjun has already said that how you have really been very, very supportive, especially with Kutte coming out. Of course, we know that through his social media. But tell me one critical thing. Take a sip. If you have one critical thing to say about the films after the trailer was out, after the rushes were out of Kutte, about Arjun.
Critical. Critical about
Yeah,
about
one
Arjun
critical
or
thing.
about
It
the
could be
film?
good or bad. About Arjun in the film.
Uh, Nothing critical. I thought it was a really cool film in terms of treatment. In terms of, I love the music. I thought it was a very very edgy kind of a film, and sometimes I think, in fact, I would have loved to have been part of that kind of a film. I love heist kind of films. So yeah,
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this, Malaika, and thank you so much for sharing your coffee with me. This virtual coffee date was quite lovely. Thanks a lot
very
for those
nice.
beautiful conversations.
Yes, thank
Thank
you.
you. Take
Yes,
care.
you, a cup of
Bye bye.
coffee. Bye bye.